Emily lived in a quaint little town with winding roads and sprawling fields that stretched as far as the eye could see. The town moved at a slow pace, and that suited Emily just fine. She was a kind-hearted young woman, always ready with a smile or a helping hand for anyone in need. But life wasn't easy for her. Emily worked at the local diner, earning just enough to scrape by, and every month was a juggling act of bills, groceries, and the occasional unexpected expense. One sunny afternoon, as Emily drove home from work, she noticed an old car parked by the side of the road. The hood was up, and an elderly man was pacing back and forth, looking worried. Emily felt a tug at her heart. She knew what it was like to be stranded, alone, and unsure of what to do next. So, without a second thought, she pulled over. "Hello there, sir. Do you need some help?" Emily called out, stepping out of her car. The elderly man looked up, relief washing over his face. "Oh, dear. I could certainly use some assistance. I think my car's given up on me," he replied, his voice warm but weary. Emily introduced herself, and the man told her his name was Mr. Thompson. He was on his way to visit his daughter in the next town when his car started acting up. Despite her own financial worries, Emily didn't hesitate. She offered to call a tow truck for Mr. Thompson and assured him that she'd wait with him until it arrived. "Are you sure, dear? I wouldn't want to keep you," Mr. Thompson said, concern etched in his features. "It's no trouble at all," Emily replied with a reassuring smile. "Everyone needs a little help now and then." As they waited, they talked about the small things in life. Emily shared stories about her work at the diner, and Mr. Thompson spoke fondly of his family. The fields around them stood silent, a gentle breeze rustling through the grass, creating a serene backdrop to their conversation. Emily felt a sense of peace, knowing that she was making a difference, however small. When the tow truck finally arrived, Mr. Thompson was immensely grateful. "Thank you, Emily. You have a kind heart," he said, as they parted ways. Emily waved goodbye, feeling a warm glow inside. She didn't think much more about the encounter as the days passed, returning to her routine of work and trying to make ends meet. Little did she know, this simple act of kindness was about to bring an unexpected change into her life. The encounter with Mr. Thompson lingered with Emily, like a warm memory that resurfaced during quiet moments. As she continued her daily routine at the diner, she found herself reflecting on their conversation and how a simple act of kindness could bring such comfort to someone else. It made her think about her own dreams, the ones she had tucked away in the corners of her mind. Emily had always loved flowers. She dreamed of opening a small flower shop, a cozy place filled with color and fragrance that could brighten anyone's day. But financial constraints had always been a barrier. Her savings were modest, and every month seemed to bring another challenge. Yet, one evening, Emily sat at her small kitchen table, a cup of tea steaming gently in her hands, when her phone buzzed. It was Carla, her closest friend. "Hey, Em, are you free tonight? I thought we could catch up," Carla's voice chirped through the phone. "Sure, I'd love that," Emily replied, grateful for the distraction. Carla arrived a short while later, bringing with her a sense of warmth and cheer. Her visits were always a welcome break for Emily, who often felt the weight of her worries ease when Carla was around. They settled into the cozy living room, chatting about the day and sharing laughs. "You know, I've been thinking about our old talks," Carla said, her eyes sparkling. "About your flower shop." Emily sighed, a wistful smile on her face. "It's still a dream, but with everything going on, it just feels so far away." Carla leaned forward, her tone earnest. Remember when I was struggling last year? I didn't think I'd make it through, but you reminded me to keep hoping. Small acts of kindness, you said. They can lead to big changes." Emily nodded, remembering the tough times Carla had faced. Her friend had been through a lot, but she'd come out stronger. "I just wish I could do something more," Emily admitted. "You will, Em. Just keep believing, and who knows, maybe something good will come out of nowhere," Carla encouraged, squeezing Emily's hand. Their conversation shifted to lighter topics, but Carla's words stayed with Emily long after her friend had left. As she tidied up her apartment, Emily paused to look around. It was a modest place, but it was hers. She'd worked hard to make it a home, filling it with little touches that reflected her personality. Photographs of family and friends lined the walls, and despite the challenges, Emily felt grateful for what she had. The thought of her flower shop lingered in her mind, a beacon of hope that refused to dim. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but Carla's words gave her a renewed sense of determination. As the days turned into weeks, Emily continued to work at the diner, saving what she could and keeping her dream alive. She found joy in small moments, like helping a customer pick out a special dessert or lending a listening ear to a regular who needed to talk. Each act of kindness brought her a step closer to her goal, reminding her that even the smallest gestures could make a big difference. One afternoon, as Emily was wiping down tables after the lunch rush, her manager called her into the back office. Her heart skipped a beat, wondering if she'd done something wrong. But as she stepped inside, she was met with a smiling face. "Emily, you've been doing a great job here. The customers love you, and I wanted to let you know that we're giving you a raise," her manager announced. Emily's eyes widened in disbelief. "Really? Thank you so much." "It's well deserved. Keep up the great work," her manager said, nodding approvingly. As she returned to the dining area, Emily felt a surge of happiness. The raise wasn't a huge amount, but it was a start. It was more than she'd expected, and it brought her dream just a little bit closer. The sun was setting as Emily left the diner that evening, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange. She walked home, her steps light and her heart full of hope. As she reached her apartment, she paused outside, taking a deep breath and looking up at the stars beginning to twinkle in the sky. Emily knew there was still a long way to go, but she felt more determined than ever. Kindness and hope had brought her this far, and she was ready to see where they would lead her next. Days turned into weeks, and Emily's life moved along its usual path. She continued her routine at the diner, working hard and saving what she could. Though she often thought about Mr. Thompson, she hoped he was doing well and that his car troubles were a thing of the past. Life had a way of going on, with each day bringing its own share of joys and challenges. One crisp morning, as Emily sorted through her mail, she noticed a letter that stood out from the rest. It wasn't a bill or a flyer. It was an envelope with her name neatly written on it, and no return address. Her curiosity piqued. Emily carefully opened it. Inside was a letter from Mr. Thompson. She read the words with growing surprise and warmth. He expressed his deep gratitude for her help that day on the roadside. He mentioned how her kindness had touched him and invited her to meet him at a local cafe that weekend. Emily felt a flutter of excitement at the unexpected invitation. Later that evening, Emily shared the news with Carla over the phone. "You'll never guess what I got today," Emily began, a hint of excitement in her voice. "Tell me," Carla urged eagerly. "I received a letter from Mr. Thompson, the man I helped with his car. He wants to meet at the cafe," Emily explained. Carla was thrilled. "That's wonderful, Em. You should definitely go. He probably wants to thank you in person." "I think I will. It's just so unexpected," Emily said, feeling a mix of anticipation and nervousness. The days leading up to the meeting seemed to pass slowly, filled with a sense of anticipation. Emily wondered what Mr. Thompson might want to discuss and hoped it would be a pleasant encounter. On the day of the meeting, she dressed simply but neatly, wanting to make a good impression. The cafe was a charming little place, with warm lighting and the inviting aroma of freshly brewed coffee. As Emily stepped inside, she felt a sense of calm mixed with excitement. She scanned the room and soon spotted Mr. Thompson sitting by a window, a friendly smile on his face. "Emily, it's so good to see you," Mr. Thompson greeted her warmly as she approached. "It's nice to see you too, Mr. Thompson. Thank you for inviting me," Emily replied, taking a seat across from him. They exchanged pleasantries, and Emily was struck by how at ease she felt in his company. Mr. Thompson seemed genuinely interested in how she had been doing since their last encounter. As they talked, Emily couldn't help but notice the twinkle in his eyes, a sign of something more than just a casual meeting. "Emily, I wanted to meet you today because your kindness that day truly made a difference in my life," Mr. Thompson began, his tone sincere. "I wanted to do something in return." Emily was touched. "It was nothing, really. I'm just glad I could help." "But it was something," Mr. Thompson insisted. "In a world where everyone is so busy, you took the time to help a stranger. That's not nothing." He reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope, placing it gently on the table in front of her. "Please, accept this as a token of my gratitude." Emily hesitated, unsure of what to say. "Oh, Mr. Thompson, I can't." "Please, I insist. Open it, he encouraged, with a gentle nod. With a mix of reluctance and curiosity, Emily opened the envelope. Inside was a check for $1,000, a sum far greater than anything she had expected. Her eyes widened in disbelief, and she looked up at Mr. Thompson, speechless. "Please use it however you see fit," he said, his voice warm and kind. "I hope it helps in some small way." Emily felt a rush of gratitude and emotion. "I don't know what to say. This is so generous. Thank you, Mr. Thompson." They talked a while longer, sharing stories and laughter, and Emily felt a deep sense of connection and gratitude. As they parted ways, she promised to stay in touch, her heart full of hope and possibility. The walk home was a blur of thoughts and emotions. Emily clutched the envelope tightly, realizing just how much this would help her inch closer to her dream. Her flower shop felt more attainable than ever, and she knew that kindness had been the catalyst for this unexpected blessing. As she reached her apartment, Emily paused to look at the sky, now painted with the soft hues of dusk. She felt a renewed sense of optimism and determination. The world had shown her kindness, and she was ready to pass it on, one small act at a time. Emily found herself buoyed by a newfound sense of purpose and possibility since her meeting with Mr. Thompson. The financial gift he had given her was not just a sum of money, it was a stepping stone towards realizing her long-held dream of opening a flower shop. She had always imagined a cozy little place filled with vibrant blooms and the gentle hum of cheerful customers. And now that vision seemed within reach. With the check safely tucked away, she began researching everything she needed to know about starting a business. Her evenings were filled with notebooks, online articles, and phone calls to various suppliers. The world of entrepreneurship was daunting, but Emily was determined to learn as much as she could. One afternoon, as she sat in her living room surrounded by papers and plans, her phone rang. It was Carla. "Hey, Em, how's it going with the flower shop plans?" Carla asked, her voice bright with curiosity. "It's exciting and a bit overwhelming," Emily admitted, a smile in her voice. "But I'm getting there. I've been looking into locations and trying to figure out the best suppliers." That's amazing. I knew you could do it," Carla encouraged. "And remember, I'm here if you need any help." "Thanks, Carla, that means a lot," Emily replied, feeling grateful for her friend's unwavering support. As they chatted, Emily felt a wave of motivation. She realized that having someone like Carla in her corner made the journey feel less intimidating. After their call, she returned to her plans with renewed energy, feeling more confident about the steps she needed to take. A few weeks later, Emily finally found a small space for rent on the edge of town. It was perfect, a charming little shop with large windows that let in plenty of natural light. The rent was reasonable, and the location was ideal for attracting customers. She could already imagine the shelves filled with colorful flowers, each one bringing joy to those who entered. With the lease signed and keys in hand, Emily set about transforming the space into her dream flower shop. She painted the walls a soft, welcoming color and carefully selected displays to showcase her blooms. Each decision was made with love and care, reflecting her passion for flowers and her desire to create a warm and inviting atmosphere. One morning, as she arranged a new shipment of daisies and tulips, the bell above the door chimed. Emily looked up to see Mr. Thompson entering the shop, his expression filled with delight. "Mr. Thompson, what a wonderful surprise!" Emily exclaimed, her face lighting up with a smile. "I had to come and see your shop for myself," Mr. Thompson said, his eyes twinkling with pride. "It's even more beautiful than I imagined." "Thank you, I couldn't have done it without your help," Emily replied sincerely. They spent a few moments admiring the shop, and Emily shared her plans for the grand opening, which was just around the corner. Mr. Thompson was genuinely pleased to see how far she had come, and his encouragement meant the world to her. As he prepared to leave, Mr. Thompson turned to Emily with a thoughtful expression. "You know, Emily, sometimes life surprises us in the most unexpected ways. It's those moments that remind us of the power of kindness and the potential for change." Emily nodded, her heart full. "I couldn't agree more." With a final wave, Mr. Thompson departed, leaving Emily with a deep sense of gratitude and fulfillment. His words echoed in her mind as she continued her preparations for the opening day. When the day finally arrived, Emily stood outside her shop, taking a moment to soak in the sight. The sign above the door proudly displayed the shop's name, Emily's Blossoms. and the windows were filled with vibrant arrangements that beckoned passers-by. Carla was there, of course, offering her support and enthusiasm. "I can't believe it's finally happening," she said, giving Emily a hug. "I know, it's surreal," Emily replied, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves. As the first customers began to trickle in, Emily greeted each one with a warm smile, eager to share her love of flowers with them. The shop buzzed with conversation and laughter, and Emily felt a deep sense of joy witnessing her dream come to life. Throughout the day, Emily reflected on the journey that had brought her here. Each act of kindness, each moment of hope, had led to this point. Her heart swelled with gratitude for the people who had supported her along the way, and she felt inspired to continue spreading kindness in her little corner of the world. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the shop, Emily knew that this was only the beginning. Her dream had taken root, and with it the promise of new possibilities and a future bright with hope and compassion. With Mr. Thompson's generous gift giving her the boost she needed, Emily embarked on the path to opening her dream flower shop. The journey was filled with both excitement and challenges, but each step brought her closer to making her vision a reality. Emily began by diving into research. She spent her evenings learning about the flower industry, from sourcing fresh blooms to understanding seasonal trends. Her notebook filled with ideas and plans, each page a testament to her determination. She knew she needed more than just passion to succeed. She needed knowledge and a solid plan. "Carla, you won't believe how much there is to learn about flowers," Emily said during one of their phone calls, her voice a mix of wonder and weariness. Carla chuckled, always the supportive friend. "I can imagine, but if anyone can do it, it's you. Remember, I'm here whenever you need help." "Thanks, Carla. I might just take you up on that," Emily replied, feeling grateful for her friend's unwavering support. Soon, Emily turned her attention to finding the perfect location for her shop. She explored various neighborhoods, considering factors like foot traffic and the local atmosphere. After several weeks of searching, she discovered a charming little space in the bustling downtown area. The rent was within her budget, and the large windows offered a beautiful view of the street outside. "This is it," Emily thought to herself as she stood in the empty shop, imagining the possibilities. She could already see the rows of flowers, the warm colors inviting customers inside. With the lease signed, Emily threw herself into the task of transforming the space. She painted the walls a soft, welcoming color and carefully selected fixtures that would complement the vibrant blooms. Each decision was made with care, reflecting her passion and attention to detail. Carla was there to help, of course. Together, they spent weekends setting up displays, arranging flowers, and planning the grand opening. Their laughter filled the shop as they worked side by side, turning the empty space into a cozy haven. "Emily, this place is going to be amazing," Carla said one afternoon as they took a break, sipping on iced tea and admiring their progress. "I hope so," Emily replied, her voice filled with a mix of excitement and nerves. "It's more work than I expected, but it's worth it." As the opening day approached, Emily felt a mix of emotions. There was excitement, of course, but also a touch of anxiety. Would people come? Would they love the shop as much as she did? On the morning of the grand opening, Emily stood outside her shop, taking a deep breath. The sign above the door read, "Emily's Blossoms," and the windows were filled with vibrant arrangements. The sight filled her with pride and a sense of accomplishment. Carla arrived early to lend her support, bringing her trademark enthusiasm. "Today's the day, Em. I can't wait to see everyone's reactions," she said, giving Emily a reassuring hug. "Me too, I just hope they love it," Emily replied, feeling a rush of gratitude for having Carla by her side. As the first customers began to arrive, Emily greeted each one with a warm smile, eager to share her love of flowers. The shop buzzed with conversation and laughter, and Emily felt a deep sense of joy witnessing her dream come to life. Throughout the day, Emily interacted with customers, helping them choose the perfect blooms and sharing stories about the flowers' meanings. Her genuine passion and warmth made an impression on everyone who stepped inside, turning casual visitors into loyal patrons. In quieter moments, Emily reflected on how far she'd come. Mr. Thompson's unexpected generosity had been the catalyst for this journey, and she was determined to honor his kindness by creating something truly special. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow through the shop's windows, Emily took a moment to absorb the day's events. Her heart was full, not just from the success of the opening, but from the realization that her dream had finally taken root. "Emily, this is just the beginning," Carla said as they tidied up the shop at the end of the day. "I can't wait to see what the future holds for you and your flowers." Emily smiled, feeling a deep sense of contentment. "I can't either, and thank you, Carla, for being here every step of the way." With her dream now a reality, Emily felt ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. She knew there would be challenges and obstacles, but she was confident in her ability to overcome them. Kindness and determination had brought her this far, and she was eager to continue spreading joy through her little flower shop, one bloom at a time. As the weeks passed after the grand opening of Emily's blossoms, the flower shop flourished in ways Emily had only dreamed of. Customers came and went, each leaving with a bouquet that brought a piece of Emily's heart into their lives. The vibrant colors and fresh scents created an atmosphere of joy and warmth, drawing people in from all walks of life. Emily's days were busy but fulfilling. She found herself learning more about her customers, their preferences, and the stories behind their floral purchases. She loved how each flower arrangement became a part of someone's special moment, a birthday, an anniversary, or just a simple gesture of love. One afternoon, as Emily was arranging a display of sunflowers, the bell above the door chimed. She looked up to see a familiar face. Mr. Thompson. "Mr. Thompson, it's so good to see you," Emily greeted him warmly. "Emily, I just had to stop by and see how you're doing," Mr. Thompson replied, his eyes twinkling with delight. "This place looks wonderful." "Thank you. It's been a busy few weeks, but I couldn't be happier," Emily said, her smile reflecting her contentment. Mr. Thompson nodded, taking in the bustling shop. "I can see that, and I'm so proud of you, Emily. You've turned your dream into reality." His words filled Emily with a sense of pride and gratitude. She remembered the day on the roadside when a simple act of kindness had sparked this incredible journey. "Your support has meant so much to me," Emily said sincerely. "I couldn't have done it without you." Mr. Thompson waved a hand dismissively, but his expression was warm. "You've done all the hard work. I just gave you a little push." They chatted for a while, sharing stories and laughter. Mr. Thompson was genuinely pleased to see how far Emily had come, and Emily felt a deep sense of gratitude for his continued encouragement. As the afternoon wore on, Emily's shop continued to buzz with activity. Customers browsed the colorful arrangements, and the air was filled with the gentle hum of conversation. Emily moved through the shop with ease, answering questions and helping customers find the perfect flowers for their needs. Later that evening, after the shop had closed for the day, Emily sat down with a cup of tea to reflect on the day's events. The shop felt peaceful in the quiet of the evening, the flowers gently swaying in the soft breeze from the open window. Emily's thoughts drifted to the journey that had brought her here. Each step, each act of kindness, had led her to this moment. She felt a profound sense of fulfillment, knowing that her passion had touched the lives of so many. As she sipped her tea, Emily thought about the future. There were still challenges to face, but she was ready to embrace them with the same determination and kindness that had brought her this far. Her heart was full of hope and love, and she was eager to see where this path would lead. In the months that followed, Emily's blossoms became a beloved part of the town. Customers returned again and again, drawn not only by the beautiful flowers but by Emily's genuine warmth and kindness. Her shop became a place where people felt welcome, where they could find a little bit of joy and beauty in their day. And through it all, Emily remained grateful for the incredible journey that had brought her here. Her dream had blossomed into something more wonderful than she had ever imagined, and she knew that the power of kindness and compassion had been the key to her success.